Hey everyone, welcome back to Humans Are Kind TV. I'm so glad you're here. If the news lately has left you feeling a little heavy, this video is my gift to you. Today, I'm taking you around the world through one single week, June 15th to the 21st, 2026, and showing you the real, verified acts of compassion that actually happened. No staged stunts, no fairy tales, just ordinary people being quietly, beautifully kind. So grab something warm, get comfortable, and let's restore a little faith in humanity together. Here's what I love about this week. Every story I'm about to tell you is true. While the big headlines were busy racing each other, regular people were out there doing extraordinary good, and I dug up the receipts. We've got 6 stories, a lawnmower that raised $685,000, a man who pulled 3 strangers out of the ocean, and a class of 2nd graders who logged over 1,000 acts of kindness. Strangers helping strangers. Nobody demanding a camera. Let's get into the first one. Our first stop is Wichita. Meet Debbie. She lost her husband to cancer, and then everything seemed to pile on. She fell 3 months behind on rent, and there were days she and her dogs went without food. Then an Uber driver who heard her story reached out to Spencer, the guy behind SB Mowing. Spencer and his dad spent 2 full days clearing her overgrown yard, and then he started a fundraiser. Guys, it raised $685,000. Over 22,000 people chipped in, and every cent went into a trust for Debbie, just from mowing a lawn. Now, let's go to Grand Isle, Louisiana. Jordan Matthew was working as a shuttle driver when people started frantically waving him down. A young boy and 2 women were caught in a rip current near Caminada Pass, and none of them could swim. Jordan had 0 lifeguard training, but he said he just locked into what he called absolute focus. He went in and brought them back one by one. He even carried the last woman to shore on his shoulder. All 3 made it home. 3 lives. One ordinary guy who refused to look away. This next one gets me every time. When Dylan was 14, he was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer and given just 8 months to live. But his doctor, Mary Austin, made him a promise. She told him she'd be at his high school graduation, and she pushed him through 52 weeks of chemo to get there. He calls her his second mom. 4 years later, cancer-free, Dylan walked across that stage, and Dr. Austin flew 1,500 miles to surprise him with a hug. A promise kept. Keep a tissue handy for this one. One was in. Let's lighten it up with the youngest heroes in this video. In Godfrey Lee, a 2nd grade teacher named Susan Odo gave her class a challenge. Be kind without being asked, and write down every single act on a slip of paper. Helping a friend who was being bullied, teaching a little brother to play soccer, stacking chairs when nobody was watching. Link by link, that paper chain grew, and by the end of the year it passed 1,000 acts of kindness. One little girl said it best, "When I am kind, I feel proud." Imagine if we all kept that chain going. This week also gave us stories of strangers who quietly became family. There's the woman new to the city who looked a little lost, so a baker handed her a free pastry. And 6 years later, that baker walked her down the aisle. And there's the mom stranded in a snowstorm with a newborn, and the trucker who followed her all the way to the next town just to make sure she was safe. He still mails her son a birthday card every year. Family doesn't always share a last name. Sometimes it starts with one small act of kindness. Some of the best kindness happens when you're just trying to get from A to B on one flight. A mom was getting shamed for her crying baby until a stranger's wife stood up, took the baby, and ACES, and walked the aisle so that mom could finally breathe. In a London park, a grieving traveler was joined by an older man who didn't try to fix anything. He just shared his own story of loss. And on another plane, a terrified first-time flyer kept finding wrapped candy left on her tray by a silent seatmate. "You did fine," he told her. Then he was gone. So what do all of these stories have in common? First, small acts, big ripples. A mowed lawn, a piece of candy, gestures that snowballed into trusts and rescues and lifelong friendships. Second, nobody did it for credit. None of these people acted for a camera. Third, they're not statistics. They're real people in real places, and that's exactly why they're so believable. And fourth, kindness is contagious. One act invites the next. That's the whole reason this channel exists. Let's put this incredible week into numbers because it's honestly staggering. $685,000 raised for one grieving widow, 3 strangers saved from drowning, over 1,000 kind acts from a single classroom, 52 weeks of chemo a doctor saw all the way through, 1,500 miles flown just to keep a promise, and 6 true stories, all in one single week. And remember, this is only what made the news. Imagine everything that didn't. Okay, here's the part where I hand the baton to you. You don't need 600 grand to change someone's life. Number 1, notice someone. Look for the person quietly struggling. Number 2, do the small thing, a meal, a ride, a kind word at the right moment. Number 3, expect nothing back. No camera, no thank you required. And number 4, tell the story, share the kindness you see, because specific, true stories are what restore other people's faith. Pick just one this week. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And that's our week of compassion. If any of these stories moved you even a little, do 2 quick things for me. Hit subscribe and drop a comment. Tell me which story hit you hardest, because I read every single one. And then go do one kind thing today for one real person. That's how this keeps going. I'm so grateful you spent this time with me. Until next week, go be somebody's good news. I'll see you in the next one.